What is going on, scooter friends? I've got a long beard right now. Just wanted to give an update on my Honda Ruckus. A lot of people have been asking for new Honda Ruckus videos on my 10 things you should think about before you buy one. And as some people know, you guys may have watched, you guys may not have, I'm working on being a semi-truck driver right now, so I'm not home that often. In the past, since early September, I've been home maybe 2 weeks, and I just have other stuff I have to get done. So without further ado, let's look at the state of my Ruckus. So we're still rocking that 6-speed blade frame. We have our cold air intake, our Doppler shock, our nice Doppler shock. Speaking of the Doppler shock, you can't find these anymore now. I must have been really lucky when I got mine. So that kind of sucks for everybody who's wanted a Doppler. Sucks for anybody who wanted one of these. It does work fine. I don't have any complaints, but I wouldn't say that it's crazy enough that you should buy one used from somebody, and there's actually no rebuild kits for these, so if this blows, if the seal goes bad in this, I just have to suck it up and buy a standard shock, which, not a big deal. There's plenty of adjustable shocks that are fine. So my Ruckus is a little bit taken apart today. My Ruckus battery is actually dead. The last time I rode this, I was coming home from work. I'd ridden into work. It's about 20 to 25 miles in. Takes about an hour. So I rode into work. On the way back, I had a problem, and I already have bolted it back in here, but I actually have a new one. My variator, the part up here, I was tuning it before, and the nut came loose. So what happened when the nut came loose is that the kickstart started backing off and rubbing on my kickstart lever. So it was technically still drivable, and the only thing holding it on though was the kickstart and the CVT cover itself. So when I got home, I had to get it towed because I didn't want to, risk. I wasn't sure what it was at first. I knew that at low speeds it wasn't making the noise. It was only once you gave it some gas and brought up the RPMs, which makes sense because when you're not giving it gas, the stuff is all pushed in towards the back. So as you gave it gas, it pushed out and it was contacting the kickstart lever. So anyways, long story short, when I got home, I took this apart. I started it again because I thought maybe there was something going on in here. I didn't think that was loose at the time. I gave it a little bit of gas, and the nut immediately spun off with the kickstart washer, and the variator came off. And when it came off, it actually nicked itself on the edge of the shaft. So it has a big nick in it. So I bought a new one. I could probably use that one, but I feel like it would decrease the lifespan of any belts I put in there, so I'm going to replace it. I just bought another stock one from a guy on a Honda Ruckus group on Facebook for like $15 or something like that. So I'll get that installed. But when that happened, I was set to leave to go do the CDL program with Prime. I'm trucking with Prime, not Amazon Prime. It's a different company called Prime. They're one of the bigger CDL companies. And because I was gone and I had let it sit before, my battery is dead. So I'm debating on whether or not I'm gonna go lithium ion or not. I know that there are it's like a 5 or 6 pound weight savings or something like that. I really don't think it'll matter that much in the long run. 5 or 6 pounds is basically nothing. People say, oh, it's 10%, but at the same time, you're still talking 5 or 6 pounds. Like, most of the problem with going faster is actually an airspeed problem, like you're getting hit with too much air. So I'm going to think about that. I did try to save it with a battery saver, as you can see, but it's so low on voltage that I don't know if you see how it's blinking red, it's so low on voltage that it won't even start up the charger. I did try to jump start the charger using another battery, and then it did start charging, and I left it like that. I went back to the CDL trucking school. I left it like that for like 2 or 3 weeks, came back, still nothing, so it's basically stone dead right now. I'm hoping that when I get a new battery, it just starts up right away without any problems, but I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be the case, sadly. But, fingers crossed. Here's hoping. The one major upgrade that I have done, and I've seen you still have the peg legs. I will say the peg legs are not as good as I thought they were going to be. I definitely want to get rid of my stock floorboard here, and then try them out, because the way they are now, like my feet sit at like a weird angle, and it's very kind of awkward, and because of how far away it is, I think that I may end up selling them, probably at a pretty good discount. But I haven't decided on that yet. But the upgrade that I did just now is something that I wanted ever since I saw it, and it's been out of stock. I did not have it on my first Ruckus, but I wanted it back then too, but I didn't have that much money. But I have the Moto Dynamics Tail Tighty. These were in stock last I checked. But this is a very nice product, and it's great because you get to keep your stock turn signals, stock brake, and it comes with a nice license plate mount. There are other license plate mounts that you can get. There's one, the popular one that a lot of people get is called the Dingleberry mount. You angle grind this whole bracket off, and then it goes here and it hangs down here. And that one's fine, that one's okay, but you still have to figure out turn signals and taillight. Most people always mount those under here, but as you can see, look at the room for that. Like, there's no room. If you had the Dingleberry mount, which would end up sticking up just a tiny bit over this, I don't know if anybody could actually see it, and personally for me, I'm like, you're not very visible on a scooter to begin with. I don't want to be even less visible. So that's where I am with that. So we went with this. This product's actually pretty nice, and it does give you, this is the mount, the one I chose for my taillights. You can actually get another one that will raise these up if you want to do a slightly higher. Put them like right here. Not a huge difference, but if you wanted that. You could technically make them go lower, but they actually touch this a little bit, so you'd have to put them on backwards. And the taillight would get mounted a little farther back here. And then, it'd be back here in this area. And, you could do that if you wanted to. It does come with Allen key hardware. So I have that up here. The interesting thing is it does not come with these three, though. It comes with 6. So it comes with this one, and then it comes with 4 for the front, because it also has 4 bolts for your license plate. So if you don't use one for up here, then you're just going to have an open hole. What I'm actually going to do is I had 2 bolts, these like plastic ones that the dealership gave me when I bought my Ruckus. And I actually really like those. I'm going to keep using them, but I am going to do all 4 bolts, so I'm going to probably put the plastic ones on the top and then do my Allen keys on the bottom, just to make it look a little nicer. So that's where my Ruckus sits right now. Now, when I go back to semi-trucking school, I've done 32,000 miles. I have to do 50,000 with my trainer, and then I'll be able to get my own truck. Once I get my own truck and I start actually making a lot more money, I'm hoping to do a lot more upgrades. I'm hoping to get a stretch in. I'm still debating on what stretch I want to go with. Originally, I was thinking the 6.5, but I feel like I might as well go, 12 or nothing. If I go 12.5, I don't know if my Doppler shock is going to fit, so I may end up having to sell my Doppler shock, which will be sad. And I'm still debating on whether or not I want to go with a fatty tire. I do like these tires, and I think that, this could look fine, just stretched out with that. When I do my stretch, I may disassemble this and actually send this off to get powder coated. I'm thinking. I'm not 100%, well, not powder coated, but I may just take this whole thing apart and then paint it myself at home, just because I'll have it apart anyways. And it wouldn't be that difficult to just paint this like a black or something like that, using a high temp paint. All of this bracket, all the motor in there on the other side. So anyways, that's where I am. If anybody else has a Ruckus, or has bought a Ruckus since you guys saw my first video, please, post your update pictures below, post response videos. I love seeing builds and new people's builds. And I am on the Honda Ruckus groups on Facebook, if you want to find me on there. I won't lie, I'm kind of a dick on there, though. Mostly because I hate when people can't just Google their problems. Do not ask me things that you can Google. That is my biggest pet peeve. So anyways, that is all for today. Sadly, no riding. And yeah, anyways, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I know winter's coming, so I know probably a lot of you guys are going to start building up your Ruckuses soon. Like I said, I'd love to see some build progress pictures or some videos, anything. You know, just leave it as a response to this video, and I'll definitely watch. I'll start leaving comments, and as always, and you know, my first video, I do respond to most comments on here. I will ask questions, and you know, so just keep your eyes open for responses from me. And I hope you all guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I actually haven't even had Thanksgiving yet. I'm having it today on Saturday because I forgot to buy butter. So that sucked. But anyways, that is all for today. If you guys have any thoughts on whether or not I should go lithium ion or if I should stick with the stock battery, please leave them down below with your thoughts on that. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day, which I feel like I've said way too many times today. Bye!